Mad Max Fury Road, Kung Fu Panda 2, Mission Impossible 3, and Spider-Man 2. Now, all of these could be examples of what you could consider expansions to movies, but in reality they're sequels. They stand alone on themselves, but they build off of the backs of their predecessors. Now, today I'm really looking forward to taking a look at an expansion to a game. So a while back I talked about Crazier Eights Camelot, which in my opinion has a pretty terrible name, but had some intriguing gameplay. So I was pretty interested that when Crazier Eights Avalon came out, oh, let me get that correct for you, Crazier Eights Avalon, the standalone expansion, I was pretty interested to take a look. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time taking a look at the details on how the game works, because I did that in my previous review of the original game. Basically, it's a game where you've got a hand of cards, and the first person to get rid of their entire hand wins the game. On your turn, you draw one card, you place a card in front of you, and then you discard a card to the deck. Now, you don't have to do either one of those. You can pass your turn, but if you do that, you're basically just taking more cards into your hand. Crazier Eights Camelot is the base game that plays up to 4 players. The cards in that game range from 2 to ace in the fashion of a normal deck of cards, but with much more vibrant artwork and iconography. But we're not talking about Camelot, we're talking about Avalon. Avalon is much the same. Gameplay is the same, the artwork is the same, in that it's all comprised of classical-looking paintings from various public domain sources. All of the cards are incredibly powerful as well. However, the bold move in this standalone expansion is that while the title suggests there's probably 8s in the deck, you'd be mistaken, because that is not the case. Now, the wild element that the 8s bring is left out entirely. Presumably this is done because in reality this is meant to be mixed with the base game, and just by coincidence you could play it by itself if you wanted to. The deck is smaller and the player count is listed as maxed out at 3. The cards in this range from 11 to 15 in each suit, with a few multi-suited cards thrown in the mix to shake things up. Now, the basic flaw in this system is not insubstantial. It's a basic sluffing game, and so it's not full of the type of depth that a lot of gamers have come to expect. And I get it. I get that looking at this game, I know that it shouldn't be fun. It's a basic game where you're taking actions and you're just emptying out your hand, but the thing is that it comes with a wild unpredictability of playing Uno with a pre-made deck of Magic the Gathering, where every single card does something wildly unpredictable. Now, this isn't a game that I'm going to pull out every single time I play a game, but it is something I'm going to pull out every single time I play Crazier Eights, because this simply enhances the absurdity that is Crazier Eights Camelot. By mixing in Crazier Eights Avalon, you expand the deck, you expand some of the crazier powers. This even introduces a card that brings player elimination into the game, which is normally something I would be completely against. However, this game is the type of game that replaces the likes of Flux for me. Flux, to me, is boring, it's dull, I mean, it's predictable. Sure, you don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you get the gist of it. You're just throwing out 2 simple cards. You know, the first person to have the correct mixture of cards wins the game. There is a number of ways to win this game, the most obvious being getting rid of your cards. However, with the addition of Avalon, as I said, player elimination, if you're the last man standing, you could win. With all this variability, it means that if someone has a specific card in front of them, all players had better get their act together and stop the imminent threat. Look, don't start with this game. If you're interested in it at all, get Crazier Eights Camelot, play that. If it's something that interests you, it's not expensive. If it's something that interests you and something that you enjoy, yeah, you're going to want Avalon, because this is a game that enhances the nuttiness of this ridiculous card game.